Broadcasting live from the Albay PIO News Center, providing you the most exclusive news update from all over the province. This is News at 12. In the local scene, the provincial government of Albay is gearing up for the 2025 Interdepartment Sports Fest, opening on November 5 at the Albay Astrodome. With the theme Resilience and Optimism for Strong, Active Living, the event aims to promote unity, wellness, and teamwork among provincial employees. The activity starts with an assembly at the Albay Cathedral, followed by a parade to the Astrodome featuring the Bicol College Marching Band, PGA officials, and 6 color-coded teams. The opening program includes the presentation of muses and a Zumba competition. The Sports Fest fosters camaraderie, resilience, and healthy lifestyle among Albay's provincial employees. In other story, Tobacco City has officially institutionalized its literacy hub to strengthen local education programs and promote lifelong learning. Mayor Crisel Lagman-Luisor said the initiative aims to make literacy services more accessible to residents, especially out-of-school youth and adult learners. The hub will serve as a center for reading, digital learning, and community-based education programs. Lagman-Luisor added that the city's goal is to ensure no Tabaqueño is left behind in education and skills development. The institutionalization of the Literacy Hub forms part of the city's commitment to inclusive and sustainable education for all. In other news, the provincial government of Albay is intensifying its internal performance audit to help local government units meet national governance standards. Governor Noel Rizal said that the initiative seeks to help city and municipal governments to comply with the requirements for national awards and recognitions. The province will assist local governments in strengthening disaster preparedness, financial accountability, and service delivery. Rizal emphasized that good governance starts with consistent evaluation and responsive action from every LGU. He added that Albay's goal is to ensure all its cities and municipalities qualify for national benchmarks like the SGLG. In the national scene, the House Committee on Public Accounts will begin its investigation into the Manila Bay Dolomite Beach project in the third week of November. Committee Chairperson and Bicol Saro Representative Terry Ridon said the first hearing will focus on whether the project was truly necessary and how it may have contributed to flooding in nearby areas such as Ermita and Malate. It will also look at how the project aligns with the Manila Bay Sustainable Development Master Plan and the Supreme Court's order to rehabilitate the bay. Ridon explained that the inquiry will examine the condition of drainage system in Fora, Remedios, and Estero de San Antonio Abad, as well as the project's engineering design. The panel also intends to explore other options to clean, rehabilitate, and preserve Manila Bay and improve its water quality for safe recreation. Invitations will be sent to officials from the Department of Environment and Natural Resources, the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, the Department of Public Works and Highways, and the Metropolitan Manila Development Authority. Several lawmakers from the minority bloc have expressed support for the probe. In other story, President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. has approved the extension of the rice import ban until the end of the year to help stabilize the buying price of palay, Agriculture Secretary Francisco Laurel Jr. said. Laurel explained that while the ban had little effect on retail rice prices or overall supply, it significantly helped farmers earn more. Because of this, President Marcos decided to extend the suspension of rice imports for the next couple of months. The initial import ban ran from September 1 to October 31 under the Executive Order Number 93. The measure aimed to stop the sharp decline in palay prices ahead of the wet harvest season. The suspension briefly pushed prices up, but gains began to fade as the moratorium comes close to its end. In major rice-producing provinces such as Isabela and Nueva Ecija, palay prices climbed to around 13 to 14 pesos per kilo from as low as 8 pesos before the import freeze. Department of Agriculture reports showed prices peaked at 16.50 pesos per kilo between September 8 and 12, then eased to about 13.50 pesos by mid-September. These prices were just slightly higher than the production cost of 12 to 14 pesos per kilo. Farm gate prices, however, remain below the 17 pesos per kilo floor price that the Department of Agriculture is aiming for under Executive Order Number 100, which allows the government to set a minimum buying price for rice. Some groups have urged the government to gradually raise the tariff on imported rice to 35% to provide further support to local farmers. In other news, the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT, is warning the public about possible cyber attack on November 5. The attack is called a Distributed Denial of Service, or DDoS, and it happens when hackers overwhelm a website with traffic, making it slow or crash. In the past, some Philippine news websites and even the Senate have been targeted. The DICT said this is not a data breach and no personal information or money or accounts will be stolen. The public is advised to try accessing websites again if they are slow. Use the official app or status page for updates. Follow verified sources. Avoid taking part in illegal online activities. The ICT is working with the Cybercrime Investigation and Coordinating Center, or CICC, and the National Telecommunications Commission to protect government websites. CICC Acting Executive Director Renato Paraiso said November 5 is known globally as a day for hacktivist protests linked to Guy Fawkes Day and the movie 5 for Vendetta. It added that hackers focus on different issues each year, and this time the attack could be related to the flood control controversy. The public should report any website problems to DICT or CICC hotline 1326. The Philippine National Police said they are ready to respond to cyber attacks. Police Brigadier General Bernard Yang said cybersecurity defenses are being strengthened, while Acting PNP Chief Lieutenant General Jose Nortates assures that the PNP remains vigilant in protecting government websites. And in the news outside the country, U.S. President Donald Trump threatened to send the military into Nigeria if the country does not stop what he called the killing of Christians by Islamist groups. Said he asked the Pentagon to prepare a plan for possible military action, claiming that Christianity in Nigeria is facing an existential threat. Trump warned that if Nigeria doesn't act, the U.S. could cut aid and launch a rapid, strong strike against the terrorists. Pentagon Chief Pete Hegseth supported the plan, saying the Department of War is preparing for action. Trump and some U.S. politicians accuse Nigeria of allowing attacks on Christians, though experts note that both Christians and Muslims have been killed in the country's ongoing conflicts. Nigerian leaders, including President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, deny these claims and emphasize the nation's commitment to religious freedom and tolerance. Nigeria is roughly half Muslim in the north and half Christian in the south, and faces serious security challenges, including the Boko Haram insurgency in the northeast, which has killed over 40,000 people and displaced more than 2 million since 2009. In other story, President Donald Trump said U.S. immigration raids haven't gone far enough, defending the tactics used by ICE agents. In an interview released Sunday, Trump criticized liberal judges for allowing down immigration operations. The interview was his first with CBS, with the network settled a $16 million lawsuit he filed over a 2024 pre-election interview with former Vice President Kamala Harris. CBS reporter Norah O'Donnell noted that ICE agents have tackled suspected immigrants, used tear gas in neighborhoods, and broken car windows. Trump said he supports these actions, calling this necessary to remove people from the country. Since returning to the White House in January, Trump has pushed for a major wave of deportations, a key part of his 2024 campaign. The raids have sparked protests, especially in Democratic-led cities where the administration has sent extra ICE agents. Trump has also tried to deploy National Guard's troops to support the raids and protect immigration facilities. Troops have been sent to Los Angeles, but similar deployments in Portland and Chicago have been temporarily blocked by the courts. And finally, in the news outside the country, a group of Filipino migrant workers in the United States is criticizing the Philippine Embassy in Washington for allegedly ignoring the difficult conditions faced by Filipinos detained in U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement ICE facilities. Members of Tanggol Migrante Movement USA, including nurses and community organizers, said detainees are facing serious health risks due to poor nutrition, disease outbreaks, and lack of medical care, while receiving little support from the Philippine government from the time of detention until repatriation. Philippine Ambassador Jose Manuel Romualdez had been largely silent on this issue. Early this year, he advised Filipinos with legal problems in the U.S. to self-deport and just leave, a stance criticized by community leaders as avoiding accountability. According to the Philippine Department of Foreign Affairs, 69 Filipinos were in ICE custody as of June. The Trump administration has set a deportation target of over 1 million by 2025. At press time, the Department of Foreign Affairs had not responded to any requests for comment. And that's all for the news of 12 November 4, 2025. We'll be back tomorrow for more news updates. Thanks to our news writer LJ Lorejo and Naomi Ruth Hernandez. And on the technical side, Chad Bobis. And our Provincial Information Officer OIC Mauri Gonzalez. And under the supervision of our Governor, Noel Irusal, I am Greg Hallare. Thank you for subscribing.